welcome back to my channel. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a different kind of tutorial and a different kind of cleaning video. We heat our home in the wintertime with our wood burning stove, and I wanted to just show you guys how I keep my home nice and toasty when it gets chilly out. So this is what our wood stove looks like. It's from the brand Jodel, and it's stoves that come out of Norway, I believe. We got it from a local showroom that sells wood burning stoves and such, but I had to clean all of that ash out and get it ready for the next burn that I'm going to do for today. The first thing I always like to do is to clean the glass. Sometimes the glass gets like smoke on it, so the best way to clean it is without any chemicals and to just dip a wet paper towel in some of the ash and then just scrub the glass down, and it comes out super clean. Super really important step is to remove all the ash from the stove. This can be a hazard if you don't remove it, so before you start burning again, you always want to remove all this ash. We keep ours in a metal bucket, and when that metal bucket gets full, my husband will go dump it out into the woods, or we'll save some and put it in our vegetable garden. And don't worry, this is actually really good and it's good for the environment, so it is kind of a good thing that we dump it back out into the woods because the plants like it as food. Not all stoves have this little feature, but we do have a little ash tray at the bottom where all the ashes fall into, so I always empty that out too because you don't want that to get full either. Starting your fire is always the hardest part. It's easy to keep a fire going, but starting it is always, for me, tends to be a little bit more difficult, at least when I was first learning. I finally got it down packed, and I'm really proud of myself for teaching myself how to do it. So my little technique that I do is I completely line the bottom with newspapers. To start a fire, you need something called kindling. Kindling are small pieces of wood that are nice and dry, that'll easily catch on fire. Normally my husband cuts these himself from larger pieces of wood, but he's been working a lot of overtime lately, so I had to go out and buy a couple bags from a local store that sells them. These are really neat and easy and convenient, and they help get the fire started really fast. You also saw me put in these other little pieces of wood. They're called fatwood sticks. They're really resinous wood. They kind of act like natural matchsticks, and the fire catches really easy to them and burns a long time. So you'll see me now doing what I call like a little crosshatch. I do things like every other way, and I really build it up so that there's plenty of spaces between the pieces of wood so that air can get through and the flames can catch. Super important. You need to give the fire oxygen. So what you saw me just do there was I opened all the air valves that the stove has, and now you can see my full crosshatch section of how I stack the wood to start a fire. sometimes the air can get really dry, so it's good to have a little kettle on top filled with water so that some steam can enter into your home. Thermometers on our stove. It helps us kind of gauge where the stove's at for the temperature. So once it's at a certain point, I start manipulating the air intake so I can regulate the heat. Because the more air you have going in, the more of your heat is escaping through your chimney, and you really want that heat to stay inside your home. Once you have a good fire started, you can go ahead and start putting more hardier logs on, like I just did here. And once you have a really good fire started, nothing can really stop it, as you can see with this little time lapse. Let me know in the comments section down below what you thought, and if you would like to have a wood burning stove in your house this winter. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!